All right, everyone. Here we are with ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to state some things. And the first thing is welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. Hope you guys find this video helpful and informative, and it means you well. To all my subscribers, I want to say thank you for your support and recognition to my efforts. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and I hope to continue to relay nothing but helpful and informative information from my end to your guys' end. So let's jump into this chart. Very bullish run here, and as I always love to point out, and it just shows it, it's so important to keep that in mind how obviously resistance levels are obviously tested and turn into a support, as we can see in the chart. And from that moment forward, there was a catalyst. Well, even though this wasn't a huge one, the catalyst started from here, and the bulls were trying to break through resistance a few times, and then the catalyst leveled off, and then it continued. And there you can clearly see once it was broken, and once it was broken, it hit newer highs and it worked its way up in this direction to the point that it hit 375. This was great news for the bulls. I mean, very, very great day for anybody that had an option that was about to expire, or somebody that bought in and was hoping that this came back, because I mean, once you look at this chart, how it was just falling, I mean, the Bears were dominating this. And one of the main things here that created this catalyst is people losing hope in the company, because obviously um, the S&P 500 news. And I mean, if you guys really think about it, Tesla has been doing great even before the S&P 500 news. And then also on top of that, I believe personally, one of the biggest things that created this bearish move here is people that have been in way before. We're talking way before. And if I go all the way back a year back, I go back 2 years, 3 years, and they were holding this long. And even just some of the people around these last couple of months, they were taking profits. And their shares multiplied. And just think about it. If you had 10 shares and you bought in at $1,000, and at the stock split point, obviously, it was 2,200. So that means, your 10 shares, each share just made you about $1,200. And the stock splits and you have 50. You would probably sell 20, maybe even 30 of those shares to take the profits that are happening right now. And if you believe in this company and you know it can go ahead and hit 1,000 again, those extra shares are going to get you 1,000 per share. So I mean, it's just me basing off my common sense, and as an investor myself, what would I do if I was in that position? I need to think about those investors. What would they do, and why this is also happening? I mean, yeah, the S&P 500 news slightly had that. Then also the public offering. I mean, there was a lot of little things that could have maybe dismotivated people from being in it. But the true fact is people taking profits. At the end of the day, there was people here taking profits, clocking out. And if you're a guy that had 10 shares and it turned into 50, that is nothing compared to what people are out there with 100 turning into 500, 1,000 shares turning into 5,000 shares, and then the numbers go on. So anybody could have just said, you know what? I've never seen Tesla at 2,200. I know the stock split happened and it can continue to be worth more. Why not clock out right now? Take, the money I've made so far, because profits turned into liquid cash is a lot more valuable, or into your bank account, than seeing it in an investment account without trading it and watching it going up and down. So this is mostly profits. I know those news probably had some influence, yes, in this, and dismotivated some investors from being in it, and also fear and people just getting out before seeing this hit new lows or so forth. But most of this, I believe, as an investor, if I was in that position that I was in earlier, I'd clock out some profits since my share amount multiplied by 5. And if I'm a true bull, and this is for all the bulls that are watching this, if you're a true bull, let me go ahead and move this. If you clock out your profits right now, that means that you believe that this price and even this price of 500 and some change is nothing. This is going to go in this direction and way past what my graph can show. I'm talking about way past and continue to work its way up to newer highs. Wouldn't you clock out some profits if you multiplied your shares by 5, your amount of shares, and most of those shares you bought in, maybe 50% of what they're worth right now at this peak? Shit, I'd get out myself too. So you got to go ahead and think that way as well about investors. Now, anybody that's bullish on Tesla has already seen Tesla hit 1,000 and seen Tesla hit 500, seen it hit 600, seen it hit 2,000. Anybody investing in Tesla that's a bull will for sure say 538 is nowhere near the peak of what this is going to reach in the upcoming months or years to come with the potential that Tesla has. So that was just probably what's happened here. But the question is, could the bulls have recovered, got through the resistance, got through the 50-day moving average? Could they now build this momentum to hit newer highs? That's the true question, and we're going to move our resistance levels and support to their new locations. So bear with me here as we can see. All right, and our support. This is once it leveled off. This was the first bullish run, and once it leveled off the lowest point in the day and the highest point in the day before closing. So this closed out slightly below the highest point of the day, and our closing price was 372.12. 372.12 was the closing price for the day, slightly above the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is 352.76. Let's see if I can land exactly on it. It's jumping around, but 352.76. As long as the bulls stay above that, they are in bullish territory. But to continue to stay above, they need to break through resistance, and that's 375.38. They need to turn that into support and continue to work their way up to newer highs and hit new resistance levels. On the other spectrum of things, the bears. If the bears can get anywhere close to support and even break through it slightly, the bears have accomplished two things. They broke through 352.76, which is our 50-day moving average, and they broke through support, and that is 342.22. If the bears are able to do that and they break through support, I'd pay very close attention to how this is reacting, because this catalyst here that went up almost about, I'd say, $70, $60 in one day. If it breaks through support, I wouldn't be shocked that anybody that got in before this is quickly trying to clock out. I mean, there's a lot of people that have gotten in at these higher prices, and as this was going down, they're actually right now thinking of like, oh, I'm better off just breaking even, or let me hold and see, and then if they see it slightly moving, they're gonna sell their shares and say, all right, I'll get in at a different point. So there's a lot of uncertainty. If this breaks through support, I'd pay very close attention to it, because two things were broken through: the 50-day moving average and support, and this can start to test newer lows and new support levels again, moving itself further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. And the bears will start to leverage this one again, because the bears had maintained control here for most of the part in this bearish run, keeping it below the 50-day moving average. And that right there, if 342.22 gets broken through, that means that 50-day moving average was broken through and support, and the bears are gonna start to hit newer lows. I pay very close attention. I can't emphasize that enough. And I also want to emphasize that for the bulls to continue their run, they have to break through 375.38, turn that into support, and hit newer highs. I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative, and it means you well. If you feel inclined or encouraged to subscribe, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, but also click on the bell so you don't miss a single video, and turn on all notifications so that you can be up to date on every chart analysis that I post. Share this with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.